Hi, everybody. This is Saad for the Saad Truth. A recurring curve in many areas of human import is the so-called inverted U curve. So, for example, if you think about repetition effects in advertising, if you don't repeat a message a sufficient number of times, people won't necessarily learn your message. If you repeat it too many times, then people will develop tedium towards the message. There is some sweet spot between those two endpoints that is the optimal point. Once you cross that inflection point, then you're entering the area of diminishing returns, and hence it's a inverted U shape. And there are many instances, many phenomena where this inverted U shape really explains the particular phenomenon really well. So think again of certain types of personality traits, let's say perfectionism. Well, if you don't have enough of a attention to detail, or if you're not sufficiently perfectionist, then maybe your work suffers. If you are too perfectionist, then you become dysfunctional in that you are checking your work over and over again. And I tend to be somewhat of a maladaptive perfectionist. There is some sweet spot between these two extremes where it is the ideal place to be. So again, inverted U shape. Now let's take this idea and apply it to Donald Trump's tweeting. Well, if he were to not make any use of the opportunities afforded by social media, and in this case Twitter, well, maybe that would be suboptimal because, of course, part of his strategy for winning was able to bypass what was perceived as a biased mainstream media so that he could reach people directly with his message, and that's fine. So if he were to not do that at all, that's not good. If he does it too much, and never mind if he does it too much, but if he does it with a certain tone that many say, and I have to agree here, that might not be becoming of the office of his office, well, then it backfires. So there's some sweet spot. It's difficult to know where that sweet spot is, but it could be, for example, making sure that he doesn't go into personal attacks against specific people, because given the office that he holds, he should appear as though he is above individual, battles, right? It diminishes his position in his office if he takes on every single journalist. So he might, for example, have a general tweet that basically says, hey, it would be nice if all media were less biased and less partisan and simply reported the facts. Well, most people would probably take that. But once you start slugging it out with every single person who otherwise might despise you, I understand that one of his qualities is that he is a brawler, and that, if you hit him, he'll hit you back 10 times harder, as he often says. But of course, again, he is entering that part of the curve that is part of the diminishing returns. So if I were a communications advisor to him, if he were listening to me, I would say, find that sweet spot, right? Or as all of our grandmothers used to say, all good things in moderation. In case he listens to this, the bill is in the mail. Cheers.